Hello, everyone. We'd like to welcome you officially to the Cascador information session. This session is brought to you by your one and only Cascador and Fundraising Academy. My name is Blessing Mene, and I am the CEO of Etuk. I'm also the co-founder of the Cascador program, and we are super excited to be sharing a number of information with you today. I have with me here our program director, Amanda Etuk, who is also going to be a huge resource to everyone listening to today's call. We have a number of entrepreneurs from across Nigeria and probably a few other places who have joined us today. We would provide you information about the program in detail. And after that, we're going to go into Q&A session. So if you have any questions, please would ask you to write down your questions in the chat. That's one way to ask questions. The second way you would be able to ask question is to raise up your hands. Okay, so those are the two ways you can ask questions. So let me welcome Amanda. Amanda, please say one.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us on a Saturday. It shows that you're very passionate about your businesses, and we appreciate the attendance, everyone joining. We have over 60 people on this call, and really grateful for people joining in to learn more. Blessing is going to talk us through his journey with Cascador. He's been part of this program much longer than I have, and the unique perspective I'm bringing is even being a former participant of the program myself. Outside of designing the program, I have been selected, gone through the application process, became a Cascador, and now on the other side, working with the team at Cascador. So we really have spent time in crafting and understanding the needs of the entrepreneurs in our very unique market. So everything that we're going to talk about is targeted and designed for you if you're looking to scale your business with Cascador. Blessing, over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Amanda. When I remember a couple of years ago when the Cascador program first started, the idea has always been to sort of like cascade wisdom and resources from those who have it the most, which could be mentors, already successful entrepreneurs and all that, to mid-stage entrepreneurs. So the idea is that you are at a some sort of inflection point in your business, in your career. This program aims to take you from where you are to the next level, like literally. And this is what the Cascador program is all about. So let's dive in quickly. So Cascador essentially is a 12-week program, right? And the focus of this program is on two things. Number one, we focus on your leadership, right? Because if you want to change the trajectory of any organization, you need to impact the leaders of that organization, the CEO specifically of that organization. And so Cascador focuses on that. The second part of the Cascador program focuses on your business, specifically how do we increase your sales revenue? How do we increase your ability to fundraise capital, right? So those are the two core areas that Cascador focuses on. And we are also really sort of like, in terms of the founder or company profile, we're specifically looking for companies that are at that sort of growth stage, inflection points in their trajectory. So the way we support entrepreneurs essentially is to provide them customized support. A lot of people, when they go to programs and all that, you have something already pre-cooked, pre-baked, and then everything is poured on you. Cascador does not take that approach. We focus on understanding you as a leader, and we do provide some sort of assessments where we try to understand your behavioral traits and all that, and teach you more about yourself and how you can improve your leadership, especially in terms of how you relate with your own team members. Then for your business, we run like a detailed analysis of your company and try to understand specifically what are those sort of areas we could provide you some sort of technical support, advisory support to help you refine your strategy, and accelerate the ability of your business to grow. Now, when you participate in this program as a founder, what do you benefit, right? So there are three things again that we focus on. Number one, when you come into this program, Cascador is going to question you. It's going to sharpen your thinking. It's going to improve your ability to be clear about how you want to strategize your growth journey and how you're going to scale. So again, this program is for people who are at an inflection point in terms of their growth journey. The second thing we focus on is on how you're going to raise capital, right? So essentially, there are three types of capital. You are either trying to raise grants, you're trying to, get a loan to improve your business, or you're trying to raise equity investments. We'll go into each of them, help you understand which of them is a fit for your business and how you could go about pitching for that type of capital. Now, the third component is really about your leadership and your network. What we do during the program, and we have done this consistently for several years, is to bring into the program a number of mentors, experts, successful entrepreneurs to come talk directly with you. I always say, what would happen if you brought a Dave Delucia or you brought in a Dangote into the same room or a Tony Elumelu into the same room with a mid-stage entrepreneur? A lot of magic, a lot of good things could actually happen. So we focus on connecting you to these people. You get to talk with them one-on-one, and then this not only enhances your sort of like leadership, but it also enhances your network as an entrepreneur. Okay. Now let's stretch this a little bit further to talk about the benefits of the program to yourself and to your business. So I already talked about the fact that you get some sort of tailored guidance to take your company to the next level. The next thing you also get would be you get a $5,000 stipend. This is for everybody who gets selected. Okay, everybody who gets selected. We lodge you in a beautiful hotel, a very nice hotel. We pay for the feeding, we pay for the hotel. In fact, we also cover your transportation. So if you were to be joining this program from Nasarawa or from Abuja, every year we try to host it in Lagos, right? So we would essentially cover your transportation from anywhere you are in Nigeria and maybe outside Nigeria to that specific location. All right. So this is covered by Cascador. What else do you get? We have a pool of capital, a $5 million fund that where you could get some sort of catalytic funding. So this is really critical. So once you're done with the program, the 12-week program, you would be qualified to apply for this. Last year, we did award a number of investments in companies. It could be as small as 100 million, 200 million. It could also be as large as £1 billion or 1.5 billion naira, which is almost $1 million. And that's a big thing right now in the current fundraising environment. Okay, so it's a very big thing, and this is one reason a lot of people apply to this program. And then finally, during the program in Lagos, you would have the opportunity to pitch internally, just as a way of showing forth what you have learned during the program, right? You have improved your pitch, you've improved your ability to talk about your strategy, you've improved your ability to talk about how you're going to raise capital. So there's going to be some sort of small pitch competition internally, and we do distribute about $50,000 in prizes to the selected cascaders who win those prizes internally. Now, let's talk about what does it take for you to be eligible to participate in this program. Oh, I am interested in applying. What do I need to know? What criteria do I need to meet in order to apply? Number one, we do ask that your business should be at least 2 years old. So what does 2 years old mean? 2 years old means that you have at least 2 years of revenue, right? At minimum, you have at least 2 years of revenue. Okay. The second thing we're looking out for is that you have at least 100 million naira in annual revenue, which would actually amount to about $70,000 in today's financial climate. The third thing we're looking out for is that your business should be based in Africa or operating in Africa. So this means that if you're trying to apply from Ghana or you're trying to apply from some, Kenya or something like that, you're eligible to participate in this program. Because I do know that some of you are joining from other countries, so you could essentially apply. Then we do have strong preference for businesses that have social impact or that create some form of social impact. And we see this a lot in the current entrepreneurial climate. A lot of us are running businesses that do improve either the livelihoods of people, the environmental impact. Some people might be recycling, some people might be running a health-related business. It does not matter the industry or sector you're currently working in. We just want to understand better how your business creates some sort of impact, okay? Irrespective of the type of impact. Then finally, because we're investing a lot of money into, flying you from wherever you are to participate in this program, we're paying for your hotel, we're paying for your food, we're also investing in mentors, people like Ian, who's showing up, Dan Ladi, Ni Yusuf, who runs these people all are very busy people. Their time is very expensive. Ada Osakwe, we have a lot of mentors who are coming into this program to support you. We do ask that you participate fully. So if you sign up or you get selected, we expect you to participate 100%, no compromises during this program, just because we want to make sure that the investment we have made in the program is fully utilized. Okay. So this program is 100% free to participate in. And this is why we're asking you to commit fully to this program. Now, I would like to hand it up here to Amanda to talk to us about the program dates and what happens between now and November.
Okay, so it's very important to kick off from where Blessing stopped about full commitment to participating in the program. So we've had cases previously in the past where people say, oh, I got selected, but I'm so sorry, I can't make your in-person session. Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm unavailable for those dates after selection. I'll say that that's like an automatic disqualification because you need to be in person for the sessions that are happening in Lagos. And we put the dates out as early as possible. So you know now that the dates are August 31st to September the 3rd. That's a 1 week session in Lagos. We have another in-person session for a week in Lagos, which is from the November 2nd to the 6th of November. I would say that you should make plans to be available from the Sunday before. It's always a good time to meet with the participants, have a welcome dinner. So we're mentioning this ahead for people who are looking to apply to know that the dates are fixed and that you should make your plans around those dates. So we start our program with a prep going into the sessions. And one of the things that Blessings mentioned is what we do. We have a DISC assessment, which has been a very helpful tool in self-awareness and also in managing teams. That has been helpful for many of our entrepreneurs. It's what they've called one of the best parts of the program, where you understand your strengths as a leader, understand the key strengths and personalities you should be looking at for certain roles. I'll just give an example of maybe if you're hiring for a finance role, you need someone who is highly compliant, someone who is able to do something for a long period of time. So those are some of the things that we assess pre-program. We introduce you to several aspects of the program, and all this is done virtually through once-a-week sessions across Zoom or any other remote work platform that we might be using this year. So that's what happens before the program. After the program, after the kickoff session, you get to meet the team in person, you meet the leadership, you meet our advisors. And what we do in that period is a very detailed, bespoke process of going through your business. Blessing has emphasized that this program is tailored to the needs of our businesses. One of the questions that we get a lot from people is, why don't we do more founders because of the volumes of applications that we get? But it's not really possible for us to give the high quality, high touch point relationship that we're trying to build if there are many people in the room. So we keep it at 12 maximum, and that's the reason for that. So I'm also mentioning this if per chance you don't get selected, you understand that it's only 12 slots that we have per year, meaning that it's very competitive and it doesn't mean that you don't have a successful business. We just have very limited slots. Of course, he talked about the pitch day that we have as part of the program and the prizes to be won. One of what we have two categories. We have the best impact. We're very focused on impact at Cascador, but not impact as just as a social or charitable venture, but more about the impact that you create within your society, within your sector. Are you disrupting things? Are you opening up livelihoods for people, financial inclusion, health access? Those are some of the things that we look at when we give prizes. And I noticed that we have one of our prize winners as the guest here. So in the year 2024, Choma Ifeanyi Eze had the best, I think it was the best, either the best pitch or the best impact, one of them. And she went away with the prize of $20,000. We also had Godwin Benson of Tuteria, who was also, I think he won the best pitch, and that was a $20,000 prize. And we have a surprise prize allocation. There's only let's say it's only reviewed during the program that we give to one lucky member of the cohort. There's a $10,000 prize as well. So apart from the stipends, there's also the benefit of going away with this equity-free prizes. So at this stage of the program, there's no equity collected in the founders. So now the application process. We also take feedback very strongly at Cascador. So before now, we've had a lengthier application process that asks you for a lot of detailed financial information from your businesses. And now, because of the volume of applications that we get, we're limiting the number of people that we ask for that data to the people who have progressed to the next stage of the application. So for the first stage, on our apply page, it's a simple 15-minute questionnaire that you can actually fill out on your phone. It's a preliminary screening application for us to know if you're a right fit. We ask the questions that we already talked about, the eligibility criteria, which is, are you 2 years in business? Are you making up to 100 million naira or $70,000 per annum in revenue? If you're looking at it in naira terms, we're asking if you're making roughly 8 to 9 million naira per month. So it might look like a large number, but this is per annum. We want to be sure that you have already identified your customer. You already have some sort of traction and product market fit, which we would then amplify for you to reach scale. I have to mention again to say that yes, the program is more competitive because of these extra elements, but the reason for that is because of the catalytic funding that we then deploy to successful applicants. We want to be sure that the businesses that we take in are ready and able to absorb $1 million and create outsized impact and returns with it. So after the 15-minute process, which a lot of you can fill out almost immediately, if you check on your phone, it doesn't take a long period to get that done. We would invite those who passed the first screening stage to complete a fuller application. I have to mention that this fuller application would involve detailed financial reports. We're looking at your audited statements. We prefer your statements to be audited. What this does is that we're trying to check the governance structures that you put in place within your business. So for any business to have enduring impact or to reach scale, there are certain things that you would have to have put in place for your business to survive outside of being a solopreneur or a one-man business style, which is not what we're trying to support. Yes, so the financials are a huge part of it. We have video submissions where you submit a YouTube link unlisted, or you can also do that as a Google file link as well. That works well. We just want to test for conciseness, clarity of thoughts, clarity of vision to know what you're trying to achieve within the short and long term. And finally, you get to have a virtual interview with the members of the team where we ask you more questions based on what you've submitted. And then we announce the final cohort by the 1st of August. I have to mention now, when you are submitting your financials, that you do not use figures that you cannot back up. We have a very senior team who have a lot of experience in finance. So try to keep your numbers as accurate as possible and try to have a grasp of your financials to do well in the interviews. All right. So we've mentioned again what the strong principles are for an application clarity. If you've started filling out the application, you'll notice that we have a maximum of 25 words on a lot of the application segments. The truth is, it's easier to write a long-winded sentence rather than having clear, short words to say this is this and this. So it's a lot harder than you think to actually put words into 25 words or 12 words or whatever we might be asking for. So that shows clarity of thoughts. Again, because there's now a funding aspect of the program, numbers are a better indicator even than your pitch deck in really being able to qualify for this program, meaning that you are your financials in place. Are you able to tell a story with the numbers of your business? Are we able to see the growth trajectory over year-on-year growth? Are people using the product? Do you understand what it is that you're selling? Your unit economics of each product. So don't be generic. In the age of AI, it's very easy to copy and paste these answers. But if you really have a grasp of your business, it would be easy for you to fill out this number. So maybe ahead of your form filling, have a conversation with your account or finance team just to be very conversant with the words or with the story that you're telling us, and then of course telling future investors. So one thing I will mention about self-awareness, we were not trying to fit founders into a box. If you notice from our alumni pool over the years, we're picking vastly different people from across different walks of life. So there is not a one size fits all that a Cascador should fit. There's no mold per se. So just being self-aware to be able to communicate what your business is, push back if you're not getting if there's no understanding from the people you're speaking to. So that self-awareness is very key. Again, for us, we have the unique position at Cascador to to be to have Dave on the team, to be the founder of this. His real intention is to create impact through entrepreneurship. And one of the key values is building a relationship over time with people who would, create this impact in the world, in Africa at large. So coachability is very important. We ask a lot of tough questions at Cascador. We challenge a lot of assumptions. So being open to feedback and you're learning from the team is very important. So as a little tip for anyone who gets to interview stage, when you get feedback from someone, it's not always the best point in time to argue with the feedback. Sometimes you can just say, "This is I've never considered this before. I'll take this under consideration. I'll speak to the team about this. I'll explore this more." Those are more welcoming ways to let people know that their feedback means something to you. You at the end of the day have to be the one to execute or to filter every information that you get. But it's important to appreciate the advice being given rather than kicking back immediately against it. So what are we looking for in the application? I'll allow Blessing speak more on this. I have to mention that we have been in Nigeria for 7 years now, and this is the first year that we're opening up officially applications from across sub-Saharan Africa. So we are open to if your business is in Ghana, if it's in Kenya, if it's in Mozambique, even though this program would only be delivered in English, we're open to receiving your application. So that's one thing I want to mention. We've done this since 2019, so we have a very long-term view of Africa and Nigeria in particular. Blessing has been very instrumental in screening the last 6 years of applications, I would say. So I'll let him talk more about what is being assessed for in the applications. Blessing, you can
Thank you,
come in.
Amanda.
Yes.
Yeah, it's always exciting going through the applications and seeing a wide range of companies that are applying. Is one of the exciting parts of doing this work. I would say that as of today, or this year, there are six things we're looking at. We're looking at you, the founder, and your team. We're looking at the viability of your business, okay, and the traction that your business has created. We're also looking at some sort of financial readiness, like we did mention, a critical part of the Cascador program is not just to support you technically with your strategy and all those things. We are Africans. We need money, guys. We need money to grow this business. Everybody is looking for investment right now in one way or the other, either equity or some form of debt funding. Some other people are looking for loans. Other people, some people are looking for grants. Other people are looking for contracts. So you need to be financially ready. Right, so we're going to pay a lot of attention to your financial readiness, okay? And then we care about impact. So one of the reasons Dave is doing this is not just because he's looking for people to talk to or for people to encourage. Dave is looking to make an impact, a big impact on the lives of entrepreneurs in the African continent. And one of the reasons Trish is doing this is also to create an impact, right? One of the reasons Amanda, Owen, everybody on the team is doing this is to create an impact. So we really, really care about how the funds that we're disbursing is going to be utilized to scale up the quality and quantity of impacts that your business generates in your community or your nation. So let's dive in a little bit deeper. Again, there's going to be a chance to do Q&A. So we're going to touch on a few of these just in details, but during the Q&A, you could ask more clarifying questions. All right. So every time an investor gives you money or invests in your company, they are making a bet on you, the CEO, right? On you, the CEO. So there are a number of things that, when you look at some sort of entrepreneurs or you talk to them, typically within 2 to 3 minutes, you can know if this is the type of entrepreneur you want to invest in. And one of the ways you know that this person is really good is that they give clear, direct answers. They don't sort of like beat around the bush and stuff like that. They are honest about what they don't know, right? Like we always say, if you're from Nigeria, we don't like big English, like big grammar and stuff like that. Just go straight to the point. And when you see somebody who is just beating around the bush, they're being vague, you ask them really hard questions about the numbers, and they cannot tell you, for example, how much revenue they've made or what their gross margins look like or what their gross profit looks like or what their net looks like, then you're finding someone who might not be really good with the numbers. Okay. So these are the things we sort of look out for. Then something that's also very critical is that it is good not to undersell yourself as a founder. If you've done amazing things, maybe you've run a different company before or a different organization, you're successful, you're a high achiever in sport, whatever you feel you have done in your past that has either created some form of impact or you hit on some major milestones or achievement, please talk about it. If you are a domain expert, right? One of the things I like about Shoma, for example, is that Shoma would tell you that, hey, I've been an accountant, so she understands numbers. She's really good with her numbers. For example, when you're talking with Andrew, for example, Andrew is good with technology. That's what he has done. He's done that for several years, and he himself was also a developer. So be uh, be take your background seriously and sort of like emphasize it. And most importantly, this last one is very, very critical. We don't like people who do Ubasabi or who do I too know, right? And the reason for that is because you're going to be having a number of these experts coming to the room to talk to you or to chat with you or to even question some assumptions you've made about your business. So we're looking out for people who are willing to listen. So you have E in the room. E co-founded Andela Flutterway, for example, right? So he does understand what it takes to build like a unicorn, for example, right? He has done it twice. So if he is looking at your business and he's sort of like questioning specific aspects of your business, then you have to be open-minded about that, right? These are the type of things we look out for in founders, and we'll try to discern this from your video applications. So I think Amanda will talk about it shortly in more detail, but we'll try to discern some of these. So we're going to ask you to do a video about yourself and your company. And in watching that video, there's so much we learn from you. and we learn about you just watching those videos. Now let's talk about team. Uh, so we essentially were looking for people who are really committed. Somebody said that the difference between um, a chicken and a pig is that when you're creating suya, or the cow, let me say between the chicken and the cow, when you're creating suya, the cow is committed. Why, when you are making fried egg, the chicken is involved? So we're not looking for founders that are involved in their businesses. We're looking for founders that are committed to their businesses, if you get what I mean. All right. So we're also looking for some sort of structure, right? You have your finance team, your operations team, you have those who are focused on sales and growth, you have your tech team if you're into tech, So some sort of like functional completeness is also very critical. And maybe if you have co-founder, that's fine. You don't need to have a co-founder. Okay, you don't need to have a co-founder, but maybe you have some other senior leaders who are also supporting you. That's also something we look at for. I would like to mention here that one of the uh, I think Dr. John C. Maxwell wrote a book called The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. In one of the laws, he calls it the law of the lead, which is that the only thing preventing an organization from getting to the next level of growth is usually the CEO. It's usually the founder, right? So, something we're looking out for is that we're looking out for people who are not going to be a bottleneck to their own organization, who are not going to be a lead or a restriction. This is how it's been done 10 years ago, 5 years ago. This is how it should continue to be. No, that means you're a bottleneck to your own organization. So we're essentially looking for people who are open-minded, and who could make really good decisions based on data, all right? So if you find a founder who is doing everything, who does not have I mean, you are the CEO, you are the CFO, you are the COO, you are the head of growth, you are the one managing your tech team, then you have found a founder who is a Superman, and sometimes Superman can be good for hero movies, but they don't usually make good entrepreneurs. What makes good entrepreneurs are leaders. Leaders make great entrepreneurs. Okay, so I am going to move on from that to the next point, which is going to be about traction. Yesterday, I was at the McCloskey venture competition at Notre Dame, and I did watch about five finalists pitch their companies. And the company that eventually won the grand prize, that was a prize my company won about 3 years ago. The company that did win the grand prize was the company that had traction, the most traction, right? And this is almost like you're prosecuting a case in a court of law. You need evidence, right? If you're asking for an investment or a chance for your company to get $1 million, to take your business to the next level, for example, you need to show traction. You need to show some form of growth. You need to show that you have paid customers. You have customers who are paying for your service. You need to show that your business is making progress, either in terms of the revenues you're generating, in terms of the customers, or if you have a product people have to subscribe to, there's increasing usage. We love to hear that, not only are you having increasing usage, but a number of your customers are coming back to buy your products. That's also something to look out for. And then we love things that are of high quality. One of the entrepreneurs who participated in the Cascador program in the past was Ishiro. Um, I did like her business. One of the things I like about her business is just that ability to provide high quality generators to people who are trying to host events somewhere in Lagos. But and she can supply her generators to power events, to power halls, to power different types of programs. That's something fantastic. We have uh, founders like Abimbola who does health, my advantage health. You have Adiola Lee, who's doing something like these guys are doing things that have high quality to really impact their customers. So, we want to see things like that. Now, there are people who are going to come and say, you know what? I just got this contract from XYZ organization. That's not real evidence. You're a contractor, right? You're a contractor. You're not yet a businessman. A contractor is almost like a freelancer. for lack of better words, So we're looking for things that are sort of like repeated. You see some people who come and then they share like very bogus numbers or financial projections. Those kind of things don't really make sense financially, especially when you're having to discuss with potential investors. There needs to be some sort of believability, some form of logic to that, right? And then, especially for my brothers and sisters who are into tech, we need to be very careful about vanity metrics. Oh, my app was downloaded by 100,000 people, but only 200 people are using it. That's a big issue. Oh, I have 1 million people on my Telegram channel, yet your application only has 50 people who are using it. So you need to focus on the metrics that are very critical. All right. Then let's switch to business viability. Uh, the question we're trying to ask here is, does this business actually work at scale? Does this business actually work at scale? Now, here we're looking at a number of things. Number one, we're looking at things like the customer, the value proposition. We're looking at how you're making money, and we're looking at your unit economics and your customer acquisition channels. Now, just to help you, right, as you're listening to me, let's talk about unit economics. Some people do not understand the unit economics of the product or the service that they offer. Here, we're trying to figure out what is the cost of 1 unit of a product. So let's say I sell laptops, for example, right? So maybe I purchase my laptop from Apple for $1,000. Maybe I have to run adverts on social media to get users. So for every $1,000 I spend advertising my product, I'm going to get 10 customers. So which means the unit costs of marketing, right, to your cost to acquiring one customer is $100. So the total cost right now stands at $1,100. And maybe you're going to have to ship that product to whoever buys your product anywhere in your country. Let's assume it's costing an extra $100, right? So by understanding the microeconomics around what it takes to produce and deliver your product, you understand the unit cost of a product. So we're going to go into this kind of details. We're going to explore, how are you making money? Are you making money through 2 or 3 channels or four, right? Align. We're going to look at those type of data you share, especially when we start looking at your financial statements or your audited accounts and things like that. We're going to look at your value proposition. This is Dave's favorite part of, anytime you talk to Dave, Dave is very focused, for example, on what is your value proposition, right? Why do customers want to buy from you? You know, and then something that we pay attention to here is like, who is your customer? Some people say, oh, everybody is my customer. I sell to the whole of Nigeria, or the whole of Africa. No, your customer, there's something called customer persona. You need to describe your customer in detail. My customers are people between the ages of this and this. They earn this type of amount of money. They are located in this. These are the kind of things they like. These are the kind of things they do not like. This is how they think. You know, this is how they feel. You need to be very clear about who your customer is. And then finally, in terms of how you're acquiring customers, it requires clarity. You need to know that, okay, for example, I have 100 customers. Where are these customers coming from? Are they coming through social media? Are they coming through physical marketing activities? Like, how you acquiring your customers? You need clarity on those. When you find an entrepreneur who understands these 5 things, you have an entrepreneur who understands how valuable their businesses are. And then let's talk about financial readiness. I've touched a little bit on this, and the only key thing I'm just going to emphasize here would be, we love to see your clarity around your cash flow, how you're using the funds in your bank account. We love to see that you understand what amount of money you need and when you need those monies. We love to see some people, when you ask them how much do they need, they will tell you, oh, I need $1 million, but there's no clarity as to what that $1 million is going to use and how that connects to their current businesses capabilities, right? So we love to see those type of things. And then and this is just sort of like a general feedback. Every time you talk with an investor and they ask you, how do you sort of keep your financial records today? If you find entrepreneurs who say, hey, we just sort of like have the paper-based system, that's a high-risk entrepreneur. You find an entrepreneur who says they're using Excel here and there, that's also medium risk. But when you find people who say they're using things like QuickBooks or Sage, or they have some sort of accounting software, they have an accountant, they have a finance department that is managing their numbers, right? Then you find an entrepreneur or a business that is low risk because they have some sort of financial cadence around how they are managing their finances. They have what we call financial discipline. All right. So please, as you plan to apply or if you get invited for interview, these are the type of things you should be looking out for. All right. Then let's talk finally about the impact. So some people they know how to do this. They write a PowerPoint presentation, or they share their pitch deck, and then you see some form of SDG one, SDG two, TV four, whatever. That is really not what we're talking about. We're trying to understand, for example, who your target beneficiaries are, right? Who are the people who benefit from the type of service you offer? We want to hear the number of customers you serve. We want to hear things like the if your product, for example, saves people, maybe provide some form of cost savings. Be very clear. We're saving them for each transaction that happens. We're saving our customers $50, right? If your business enables jobs creation, be very clear about that. And then tell us about how you're measuring those impact. Are you just cashing the figure from the air? Or just sort of assuming or estimating, or do you have, for example, a way to record those numbers? So in my own company, part of what we've done is that we're very intentional about how we collect those information, and we collect those information on a weekly basis. So I have employed in my own company like an M&E person, right, that does impact measurement. That's their full-time job. They do impact measurement on a weekly basis so that every time we need to communicate the impact that we create, we are ready. Do you understand? We're lock and loaded any time of the day. We've even coded it into parts of our own technology so that it's not part of our organizational DNA. So those are the kind of, you might not be as sophisticated as I'm saying, but we do want to see that there's some sort of clarity of thinking around how you're thinking about your numbers and how you're looking to scale the impact that you are creating. So I will hand it up here to Amanda. I would like her to talk more about the video submissions.
All right. So this part is very tricky, but when you submit an application that has numbers and just your pitch deck, we never get to have a sense of who is submitting this application or who you are. I've seen, let me tell you about the very common misstep. Some people just send us a video that they prepared for another application, whether it's fit for purpose or not, they just send us a link of something that they prepared. I want to say that we're not looking for a professionally produced video, but we just want 1 minute where you are deliberate and you're taking your time to answer the exact question that is being asked. That's another thing that happens a lot with people. You get a chance to say, tell me about your value proposition, and you start to hear about their name and what they do. So what I would say is focus on our value proposition at the name of your company is this. It's not the time to introduce yourself, especially when you have a 1 minute video. So again, because of our focus on conciseness and brevity, please don't have videos that are longer than the allocated time given for them. So introduce your business. This is our value. My business is Messenger, our company, our customer riders who are really relocating to cities and need financing. We provide them with revenue-based financing. This. So very short and very targeted to what you do. Then the CEO video, this is a great time to talk about your strengths and weaknesses because this is obviously Blessings community. I can go further into some of the things that I really, would I say, not disqualifiers, but there are things that don't really carry a lot of weight as an entrepreneur submitting an application for this video. One, I struggle with delegation. I work too hard. I find it difficult to rest. I'm a perfectionist. So I understand that if you use any of the tools out there to ask what is selling personal strength and weakness is to tell you things that still seem like positives. I overwork, I find it difficult to delegate, I'm so focused on work all the time, that those are my weaknesses. I would just advise you to be as honest and clear as possible. If I were to do a strength and weaknesses video here on the personal strengths, I would say my personal strength is I'm excellent at communicating my value proposition to customers. I am great at branding and marketing. I struggle with the finances for my business, and most times I have solved this by putting this responsibility on my co-founder or something like that, something that's very honest and very different. And I can promise you there are over 100 applications that are telling us about how people struggle to delegate and how people are very hardworking, how they don't rest. So I'm just saying that be very honest about the strength and weakness because it shows self-awareness. It shows self-awareness, honesty and being very open. Again, we talked about relationships so much in this program to let you know that there's a real almost personal approach to the businesses that we're looking to support. It's a very long-term relationship. We have people from the first Cascador 2019 that were still in contact with, are very much a part of our community. So this is a long-term relationship. Again, I want to mention something that is not on this slide, but our catalytic fund is an annual $5 million fund, meaning that if you qualify 1 year and maybe you've gone through the process of repaying, if it's a debt, for example, you are eligible to apply again. I'm saying this because to let you know how you should have a long-term view of the relationship and even have that in mind as you apply. So what personal support do you need to succeed in 2026? An example for me will be market access. I want to be able to sell to B2G contacts. I want to be able to switch my business from B2C. I need more help in fine-tuning my B2B sales strategy. That's something that you ask, something that is very targeted and specific and shows that you understand what you need. Again, in describing your leadership team, last year we asked the question in a very different way. We asked who is the most valuable member of your team and why. We found that surprisingly, a lot of CEOs glossed over that question. You'll be very surprised. People could not name who is the most valuable, or maybe for instance, we had a lot of people say my executive assistant. And it makes you wonder, okay, to your team for scale, like how is this person contributing? I'm giving examples of what you can say. So for example, if I were to answer this, I would say, I'll describe my leadership team. My leadership team is made up of myself as the CEO, supported by my co-founder and COO, who has a vast understanding of the Abuja logistics landscape. He serves as, the founding of this thing. He helps connect with riders and blah, blah, blah. Describe it and say why each person is uniquely qualified to scale the business. My co-founder has X amount of years of experience and has been able to transform our rider aggregation from hundreds when we started to over this at this particular point in time. So those are some of the things. Blessing, I think we've left the slide somehow.
Oh, sorry
Okay.
about that. Yeah, okay.
Okay. So yeah, so that's where we are with the videos. We've covered a lot of the things that you're seeing now. We're just going back to yes. And then we've talked about this already. Clear, if you're giving a value proposition, talk about the clear target beneficiaries. He's mentioned that. Quantifiable metrics. A lot of people say we've trained thousands of people. Thousands of people is not a number. If you use SDG references, you need to be specific. So for me, for example, again, I keep using my previous startup as an example so you can see how granular you can get. What is our own key impact? We have empowered over 150 riders to be able to earn above minimum wage in Nigeria. So that is not only no poverty, that is SDG 8 and 9, which is decent jobs. So there are ways to describe it with a proper holistic understanding of your business, not just we create jobs. I've said we create jobs and we allow people earn above minimum wage. So yeah, that is one of the things that I would say. What else? Please, for your, this is already here. I work too hard, no connection to the business, no ask for support. So again, we love the vulnerability of founders being able to say, this is where I need help. This is where I need help because one of the things with Cascador is apart from the capital that we're able to infuse into the business now, we have a deep network. We're building a network across Africa, but I can say that we have a very deep network in Nigeria where we almost have access to most of the rooms that you might need in terms of policy, in terms of market access, in terms of I would say policy that you need to speak to. So be very honest about the support that you need for your business. It doesn't mean that we're going to overlook your application just because you said what you need. It helps us know how can we best support this person. Again, just for the video, please, this is something that can be done with your phone. You don't need to set up any special effects. Now, most people have ring lights at home. Almost everyone is a content creator. So you have the setup right there. You can do this as a simple, you can do it as a Zoom recording, download the link and put it in a Google Drive for us. There are many things you can do. Again, be very specific. Name the leader, the role, and what they do. Direct links to what people do. Let the place be well lit. Let's see your face. Please don't do a video where you're on the move. I know we're all very busy. We'll find time to sit in a quiet place like this. Now I have a very plain background. You can do that. Speak directly to the camera. Be personable. Just imagine that somebody is using this as a medium to get to know you. So that's how I'll look at it. And that's about it. And this is the team founded by Dave DeLucia, who is an entrepreneur. So basically, the journey with Dave is that he started a pharmaceutical company. He's gone on to sell his company and now has created an endowment for entrepreneurs in Africa. Our CEO is Trish Thomas, and we have Blessing Mene, who had the blessing of having this idea that he shared with Dave, and that's why we're all here today. We have Oyin Sholebo, who is former managing director, Techstars Nigeria. You may know her. She is our COO at Cascador, and myself, participant turned program director. So now we've done almost exactly an hour, and we'll open up the floor for questions. One of the things that I would mention to you, though, is I noticed that people in the comments are saying, okay, I can see now that I may not be properly structured to apply. I would say that that's a good observation, but not to immediately abandon the relationship. Please still keep in touch. Next year, applications will still be open. You can still, if you don't apply this year, you can apply next year. You can also attend some of our events so you build a relationship ahead of time. Sometimes the best time to start building a relationship is not immediately when you need something. So I would say, please connect with us. We have open houses happening in Abuja and Lagos in the next coming week. Abuja is for next week. We're going to be in Abuja next Wednesday, connecting with founders like yourself. In Lagos, it's the 5th of May. So please, that's also on the apply page so you can register and attend and get to meet us.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much, Amanda. Now we can transition to the Q&A session. So we have about 190 people in the room. So if you have a question, you could type it in the chat box. If you have a good background, strong internet, and you like to ask in an audio format, you could just raise your hands up, and then we would just make unmute you, and then you could ask your question directly on this call. Okay, so we're going to go through the chats just to see what questions we have there. So how about the team video? Do we require all team members to speak? So I think Amanda, let's just a moment. So just a moment. So I think for the team videos though, Amanda, you can unmute. For the team videos, you would not, yeah,
The team videos are supposed to be done by the CEO. I
yeah.
would suggest that you mention only the 3 critical people to your business. If you start to talk about more than 3 people, you are going to exceed the time frame for the video. So you are the one talking about them to say my key person is Ayo. Ayo is my head of finance, and he's been able to create or manage our cash flow in the last couple of years. Another key member of the team is my chief commercial officer, Shayo. Shayo has been able to onboard some of our highest paying customers within the last 6 months. Our Chief Technology Officer has built a stellar application that our customers give high rated feedback on year day after day. So simple. I just said three members of the team, what they do. This was less than a minute.
Yeah, fantastic. I think we have Femi Owoye, who Oyewale from Fortix, who is here. So Femi, thanks for sharing some of the good comments. Femi says that for anyone who is still undecided, I can assure you that it is very worth it, regardless of what stage you get to in your application. The Cascador gives you clarity or helps you to clarify your thoughts or the thoughts you already had. Also, always remember to carry your team along during the Cascador journey. The exposure sharpens your team by 3x. Woo! Nice. So let's take more questions. Um, we have, can a business less than a year apply for this from Savi?
This one I have to answer. Less than a year, but do you have the traction in terms of the revenue? So, this one, I have to say that we have a lot of companies where they immediately found product market fits. That's for technology companies, and they're raking in revenues at record speeds. So if your business is less than a year, are you already making 100 million naira in the few months that you have in operation? If yes, apply. If no, then don't apply.
Fantastic.
And then I just saw some questions about Port Harcourt, and I have to address that now. I don't know, Blessing, are you from Port Harcourt? We have a lot of Port Harcourt people in the comments asking why we're not coming to Port Harcourt. Yes, I have to mention that this is actually a request that we also got day before yesterday from a venture partner there to say, what's up? Why are people not coming to Port Harcourt? So I will tell you now that it's under consideration. I cannot promise because we
Mhm,
have a lot going on between now and June 15 when applications close. So if we can make it sometime before June 15, then we will come to Port Harcourt.
mhm. Okay, awesome. Does Cascada support non-profits or social
No, we don't.
enterprises? We don't
No.
support non-profits, but I think we do support social enterprises. If they're registered as maybe for-profit company or social enterprises in the country you are applying from. But if you're an NGO, we wish you the best in your endeavors. How somebody is asking, can my business managing football team apply? Yes, now. If you meet
Yes,
the criteria.
there's a company called Afri Scout. They're doing really well. It's well properly structured. So again, if you meet
Mhm.
all the criteria, please apply.
Yeah, and that person is asking, can I apply with my knitting business? If you meet the criteria, yes, please apply. Um, yeah, somebody's asking, can I get a recap of the video? Yes, we're going to share the video recordings with you. So after this, we're going to upload the video and then share the recording with you. So make sure you sort of look out on the Cascador page, check my page if you're on our WhatsApp group. Also, we're going to share the videos on our WhatsApp community group. Okay. Um, Another question we're having here. Hello, please. I joined late. Can I my business that has been five operation for 5 years apply? Yes. 5 years, 10 years, apply. So long you meet with the criteria, apply. Someone is asking, Amanda, can a partner with 25% share of the business apply?
Are you the CEO? If yes, apply. If no, then you can't apply.
Okay, great. Then we have I'm an interior designer and offer various services in the interior space. How do I now structure and apply for the grant? My name is Kyo. Well, this is not like some sort of grant application. This is the Cascador. So again, watch the video. We've spoken a lot about the program. So watch the video and apply. Okay, apply. Does Cascade? Let's see some other questions here. My business is headquartered in New York and Lagos, targeting US customers for operations in Africa. Do you accept this kind of company? We're also
Have
registered
any
in
operations in
Nigeria.
Africa?
Yeah, they say they
If
have operations in Africa.
please apply. We would like to take a closer look, but I can't give a yes, no answer based
Mm-hmm.
on information.
Someone saying, I run a real estate company, I'm the CEO. Should I apply? Yes, apply. Business is business. So somebody's asking, so the CEO is making the 3 videos.
Yes,
Okay, good. Someone is asking, can the paper recycling business apply?
yes.
Um, Someone is asking, they would like to know about the upcoming meeting May 5th at
I
Lagos.
just put the link in the chat. So Lagos Open House, please register so we can approve your attendance.
Good. Another person is asking, Dio, oh, good to see you, Dio. I have a co-founder. Can both of us attend the interview stage and also the physical event? Can 2 people attend or just one person have to represent all through?
Okay, so the co-founder can maybe join our interviews, but we only have one participant in the Cascador program. We're opening up sessions now that will address your co-founders as well. So no, the main participant is just one person. There might be some sessions where we allow team members join us, but typically one person. The two of you can attend the event, but only one person can be the main Cascador applicant. So you have to decide that between the both of you.
Awesome. Someone is asking, I joined late. What are the criteria? So you need to watch the video. We're going to share the video recording. So look out on my LinkedIn page, Facebook page. I'll share the videos. For those of us who are already in the fundraising academy community, we're going to share it on those WhatsApp groups. Um, you also check on Cascador page. We're also going to share the videos there. All right. So we're going to do that between now and Monday. You would get the videos, okay? Another person is asking about, is this available for startups with potential for growth that hasn't yet kicked off? No.
No.
If I have 2 companies and make up to 100 million with both, am I eligible to apply since both companies are under a group?
No,
Can I apply with a group of companies?
no.
Um, Another person is asking, I would like to ask a question about finance. We recently changed our business model. Okay, I think you already answered that on the chat. Um, can a food business owner apply? Yeah. So I will take an audio question from Tosin. Tosin, if your background is clear, make sure your background is clear, number one, and please go straight to the point when you ask your questions. Because the mute button is very close to my hand, and my hands used to itch me sometimes. So when it comes to muting. So okay, you can unmute yourself to sing.
Okay, thank you. Two quick questions. Number one, the audited financial, is it mandatory or can a statement of account suffice? Or should we send our statement of account for auditing to be able to submit the audited financial? Question one. Question two, for a business that does, my business does an annual turnover of about 200 million. And but then in terms of the team members and all of that, we do not have a very large team. We're a team of four. I'm the CEO. Do we still qualify to apply, or we need to have the IT, everything structured out as you mentioned?
So a four-people team is not necessarily a bad thing. I would say that the general team at Cascador is less than 10, but everyone has clear guidelines on their roles and responsibilities. And if you're able to demonstrate that, then it's not a problem. In terms of financial statements, we can take management accounts for, I would say, maximum 2025. But if you're submitting 3 years of audited statements or 2 years, you should at least have your 2022, 2023 properly audited. And then for year to date, yes, you can do management accounts. Auditing your financial statements, if you are not using the big four, I think it's surprising to a lot of people that it's not an expensive thing to do and it doesn't cost as much as people think. So just because you're taking your business to the next level, this is a general advice to everyone. It doesn't take a lot to do that. There are many firms that are providing the service.
Okay, thank you. Tosin, I hope that answers your question. If you would like to ask a question, please just raise your hands up and then we're going to unmute you. Um, so people are asking for WhatsApp group info. So I just shared one on the chat. So once you click on it, you can join. We'll drop the video there. We share information about fundraising there. Let's see. Do we have any other questions? So we have somebody who is asking here. Um, since I'm a retailer, I have been into buying and selling of eggs and wholesale to shops and some small shop business owners. I'm based in Abuja. I started this business in 2021. I have very high demand now, but do not have as much money to meet up all my supply demands. Amanda, do you want that application?
Honestly, I don't like to discourage people from applying. First of all, if you even sit down to go through the process of applying, I think it's a learning process in itself. So please, if you do meet the criteria in any form, we're sector agnostic. I realize that that's something we did not say specifically. We don't have a particular type of business that we support. We don't want you to, again, apply with many different businesses to try to meet up to the criteria. But if you are whatever sector making the minimum turnover that we've asked for, and you are based in sub-Saharan Africa, please apply.
Fantastic. So, for those of you who came late, you can join the WhatsApp group. We're going to also dump the video there. Okay, so do we have any other questions? If you have a question, please, now is the time to raise your hands up. I think we've answered probably all the questions. Does the business need to have a physical office?
No.
Okay, so we have another hands up from Bobby. Bobby, make sure your background is clear and go straight to the point when you ask a question, please.
All right, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. I really appreciate this
You're
section.
welcome.
Very fascinating and impactful. Okay, I want to ask, as a food business owner, we started last year, 2005, February precisely. So we're 1 year and 2 months in the business. So what's the criteria for us to apply for the grant?
I didn't get that.
So he's talking about, we don't give grants. Let me just mention that very clearly here. We don't give grants. This is for the ScaleUp application. We are not a grant giving organization.
Yeah. So again, just to add to what Amanda has said, for the people who get selected only, they get like a $5,000, which they can use it for whatever they want to use it for. And then there's some sort of cash prize is $50,000 that is shared among the people who win their international pitch competition during the Cascador program. But outside of that, there is no like some sort of specific grant being awarded. The fund is an alumni catalytic fund, usually disbursed as debt funds, right? To companies who are looking to take their business to the next level. Okay. Somebody has asked, okay, just 1 second.
So I just want to mention that apart from debt, we also give equity. So in the last round of our catalytic funding, we gave debt, equity. We noticed that collaterals are very difficult to come by in this market. So we're also able to provide collaterals to businesses and bank guarantees. So if you, for example, you're speaking to BOI or any other DFI and you've secured a single digit loan, Cascador is able to come in with a bank guarantee to support that lower interest loan for your business. So our catalytic fund is using a mix of instruments. Again, we don't want to tie people down to just debt or equity. We want to give you exactly what your business needs. We also know that a lot of why we speak a lot of the debt is because we know that a lot of the struggles of entrepreneurs in this market is working capital. So that's something that we also give. So I hope that clarifies.
Fantastic. Thank you, Amanda. Another question, we have Precious. Go ahead. Make sure your background is good.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon once again, and thank you for the very insightful session. So I'm a third time. I'll be a third-time applicant when I apply for this, and I don't know. It might be very cumbersome, but is it possible to, sort of get feedback? Perchance you don't scale through on the quality of application, so that when applying for next time, I hope I don't apply a fourth time, right? That, you could understand better where to strengthen your application. And I like the fact that, a lot of things we have made very clear. The founder should be authentic. He should be able to express clearly what he does and who he is, right? And you give instances of some of the previous winners of the program. But aside those mentioned, are there any other thing that stands out that have not been mentioned? I don't know, that ticks the box for those that have been able to scale through the 12 persons, those that end up in the 12, in that very tough number. Is there any other that's that Cascador looks out for, that is not necessarily scripted here? Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to take part of this and then I'll let Lesson also chip in because he's done a lot of the screening. Again, I just have to mention that for a program that takes only 10 people per year, it's very competitive and it's a game of numbers. So because you haven't been selected doesn't mean that there is an issue with your business. It also means that you are in competition with thousands of people for the opportunity. And probably those people are closer to the criteria than you have. And we have an extensive review committee where we do vote on this. So it's not it's not a diss on your business to avoid for lack of better word. It's not because you're not good enough. It just means that one, you're up against very strong competition. Two, at certain points in time, there are people that might be a better fit than you. Three, I'm not sure what the name of your business is. So again, based on our cohorts, how would you compete with like the companies that we've selected? Another thing to mention about feedback is we're able to give feedback at later stages of the program. So if, for example, you go through this preliminary screening and you don't make the cut, it's impossible for us to give detailed feedback to people at that stage. But if you reach the semi-finalist level, we're able to provide you a detailed explanation to say, this is why you did get in. That's what I would say. Lots of people are two-time applicants. People have applied more than once to the program and then they've gotten in. What I would say that has made those people succeed is that in every year, we can actually see the growth of their business from the last time that they applied. So for a lot of people, it's not exactly your fault. We live in a very difficult market terrain where things happen to the business. But we can see for certain people, when they apply 1 year and don't get in, by the time they apply the next year, it's a much stronger business that is applying. If, for example, you've applied 4 times and the revenue is around the same number, I'm just saying this to be as detailed as possible. That is an indicator that the growth is not as strong, or maybe the product market fit has not been identified for that business. So again, applying 4 times, you need to also ask yourself, what is different with the business from the last time that you applied? What demonstrated traction, awards, placements have you gotten from the last time that you applied that makes you a stronger candidate? And I'll say this again, year after year, our pool of candidates becomes more competitive. So it's not always about your business, but more about the competition.
Yeah,
Let's add to that.
yeah. I mean, like it's one of the most difficult parts of running this program, right? It's like you get a lot of applications coming, high quality. I even think that they you could probably even have like 50 people who qualify to participate in this program at every point in time. So it becomes like a very hard decision, sometimes even heartbreaking decision to just select the top 10 or 12 participants. It's always the most difficult part of this process. I can tell you that for sure. So sometimes, and then we have to start sending out those rejection emails, which nobody's happy about sending out, and whenever you get those emails, I don't want you to feel discouraged because many times it's not even about your business. It's just about the fact that we don't have the capacity to support you at that point in time. We have a very small team. We do not yet have the ability to coordinate 100 businesses or 50 businesses per time. For that reason, maybe just 10 people make it through the code. But it does not mean that your own business is not sort of like a good business or you as a CEO, you failed. No, it has nothing to do with that. It's just that we did not have the capacity to support you at that point in time. All right. So that's the right perspective to always have when you get or if you do get those type of emails, okay, don't feel condemned about it. Somebody's asking, must it be a physical business? What if I have an online academy where I train students to learn various digital skills online?
Chairman of Accounting Hub does that digitally. So I gave her as an example. Somebody has also asked for an AI startup. We have an AI startup that has gotten into the cohort last year. It's called Indigenous. We don't have a problem with that. Again, if the revenue doesn't match, then you're not qualified.
Awesome. Yeah, so it's more about the criteria. So if you're an online company or anything like that, please go ahead and apply so long you meet up with the criteria. And if you do not meet up to the criteria, ask yourself how, like, what am I missing? And then take the next couple of months to fix those things. Okay. Yeah, Lizzie, please go ahead with your next question.
Mm.
Lizzie, you said oh, Abisola, it's good to see you. I hope you get to apply. I do see a number of amazing on entrepreneurs on the call. Cleopatra, Dio, E. Good to see every one of you. Okay. What's the minimum revenue a business needs to be making in order to apply? So you need to be making at least 100 million naira per year. 100 million per year. And the reason for that is because that is the kind of money you should be making to be able to take advantage of the resource that we do have to offer, right? Another person is asking, is the application still on at the moment? The answer is yes. The application is currently open. Please apply. All right. Is there any other question? We're going to be wrapping up in about 5 minutes or less. Um, about 8 minutes. So if you do have a question, now is the time to ask. Okay. Um, I'm into agro real estate. Please, I need guidance on how to apply for the loan. My company makes turnover of over 150 million. Amanda.
So we don't have loan applications. This is an application for the Accelerator program. So we don't invest in people outside of our alumni. So the only way to access our money is becoming an alumni of the program. It's relationship based. We're not like a microfinance institution or anything like that. Let me see. Can a business without official sales record aside a statement of account apply? No. Must it be physical business? I've mentioned doesn't have to be physical. We want to create impact in Africa. So I'm seeing a lot of questions from people who live outside of the country and run businesses in Africa. I'll be very honest. It really depends on the scale of the business. It's not our preference. We want entrepreneurs that are very close to the problem that they are solving.
Mm-hmm.
Revenue concession for social enterprises, we have considered that in the past, but again, based on the competition, I would just keep it simple and say no. Okay.
Someone is asking, how do you become an alumni?
I apply for the program. I'm going to put the link again. So for anyone, if you look at it, honestly, it's a 15-minute application. Just the only thing that you have to check for is the numbers on some of the things that we ask. Maybe just check with your finance team. And we're sector agnostic. We don't have any particular industry that we're looking for, just as long as you meet the criteria. We have someone that was doing generator rentals, like you mentioned, then all the way somebody who runs a hospital that left a comment here. So it's sector agnostic.
Yeah, sector. We even have money who does NEET microfinance in Kaduna, providing like small credit to small business owners in Kaduna State. So it could be any type of business, that could apply. So we are not sort of industry specific. All right. Okay. Now I think we've answered a lot of questions. Amanda, let's give like some sort of final words.
The
That
final one. Thank you so much. Again, you're spending a Saturday with us. It just shows how seriously you take your business. So I appreciate the time. I'm sorry that we can only take 12 people per year, But one thing that I would say that at least everyone on the call can connect with is to come for our events. We're doing a lot more in terms of community outreaches and connecting with people. So we want to stay close to you. We're not just saying, oh, only 12 people are not, we're disconnecting. So please come, get to know us, interact with the team. Blessing here is doing a fantastic job with the fundraising academy. So please speak to us, connect with us, stay in touch. And then, as your business grows, please still apply. If whether you get selected or not, this is not an indication of a bad business. We have people that we haven't taken in that have gone on to do great things. So this is not the only validation that your business would need. I'm seeing someone has a question as a newbie that wants to start a business and you don't have startup capital and their grant, I want to start up. So we don't do startup capital. There are a number of people that do those things. So what we have in Nigeria, maybe this is where the fundraising academy comes in, is that there are many different funds that you can access as your business grows, right from the beginning to the end. So I think this is something that Blessing will take you through. But at the very start of the business, what a lot of people will advise you to do is maybe not even just chase grants. It starts from your own personal savings or revenue that you built over time. Because if you're able to put your money where your mouth is, it's easier to convince other people to join you on the journey. A lot of times it's difficult to secure grants when you've not started anything at all. That's very difficult. So you're going on a journey, but you don't want to take any risk, but you want external investors to risk their own money.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just food for thought.
Yeah, Amanda, thanks for talking about the academy. Maybe I could just share briefly about that. For those of you who are joining us from our community and the academy. So the Fundraising Academy is about helping entrepreneurs to win grants and build a fundable organization. So we focus on, helping founders, SME owners, for-profit owners, NGOs to build fundable organizations. So sometimes you find out that people want to apply for um, competitions, you want to apply for programs like this, or you want to apply for some other programs out there, but you don't really know what it takes to put together an application package or even to prepare your company. So this is what Fracad focuses on. So essentially we provide you a course that you take, and when you take this course, you get to understand how fundraising works. You get to sort of like reorganize or restructure your business. We also help you develop like some form of fundraising application package that you could put together, and then you can start applying for grants or loans or whatever you're trying to go after. Okay, so this is what Fundraising Academy is about. You can check fracad.com, and you would see fracad.com, and you could learn a little bit more about that. I would like to maybe sort of like give let me see if I can share a little bit more information about that, but I would like to like first pause this recording.